The most insidious thing in the world is nonsense that sounds just plausible enough to listen to. Welcome back to Affinity for Commander, where today we're looking at the best of the black and blue commanders. As always, no partner commanders will be included on this list. Sorry, Silas. With that out of the way, let's get right to it. Number 5. Grimgrin Corpseborn. For 3 generic mana, 1 blue and 1 black, we have a 5/5 legendary zombie warrior that enters the battlefield tapped and doesn't untap during your untap step. He reads, sacrifice another creature, untap Grimgrin and put a +1/+1 counter on it. And whenever Grimgrin attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls, then put a +1/+1 counter on Grimgrin. Grimgrin is just one of those beautiful value cards that not only removes our opponent's more worrisome creatures on attack, but can also synergize very well with a good recursion sub-theme. Now, whilst the deck doesn't necessarily need to be zombie themed, the undead do seem to have the best value when we need sacrifices for our greedy warrior. We can even find cards that gain benefits from being in the grave. For instance, cards like Geralf's Messenger or Vindictive Lich both give us value when sacrificed, with the Messenger being able to go again. Playing cards like Wonder or Filth to then sacrifice them off to our commander, giving him flying and swamp walk, can really help close down a game with an unblockable commander swinging in. This puts additional pressure on our opponents with a ticking commander damage clock, as well as removing our opponent's creatures to ensure no consequences for turning our big guy sideways. Couple this with some solid recursion cards like Relentless Dead, Gravecrawl or Dread Wanderer to sacrifice to our general. Add in some good old-fashioned zombie value with cards like Rooftop Storm, the Grey Merchant of Ashford, with cards like Gary and Grave Titan. Then we have one solid Dimir commander that can not only grind out the long game, but can come out of nowhere to hit hard and fast. Number 4. Moving on to possibly the best ninja commander in the format. No, not you, Yuriko. It's Vela the Night-Clad. For 4 generic, 1 blue and 1 black, she is a 4/4 human wizard with Intimidate. She gives all other creatures you control Intimidate and reads, whenever Vela the Night-Clad or another creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. For some of the newer players out there, Intimidate is on the list of depreciated keywords. It reads, creatures with Intimidate cannot be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a colour with it. Now when I said Vela might just be the best ninja commander, I wasn't joking. Vela seems purposefully designed to abuse the ninjutsu mechanic. Our creatures have Intimidate, so it's unlikely they're going to be blocked anyway. Then lo and behold, we can ninjutsu out one of our ninjas to get the benefit from those sweet triggers. And then Vela drains our opponents for 1 because one of our creatures left the battlefield. Spice this up with loads unblockable shenanigans with cards like Tetsuko Umezawa, Slither Blade and Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Add in some card draw value with Coastal Piracy and Tandem Lookout. And then, even if Vela isn't out, the deck can still get in for some great damage and draw into our eventual answers. But naturally, all the intimidating value isn't quite enough to grab the number 4 spot. For that, we need something big, we need something flashy, we need something infinite, something underhanded, something. Oh, that'll do. Having access to one of our 3 combo pieces always at our disposal, tucked away in the command zone, is priceless in terms of how close you are at any point to winning the game out of nowhere. As, thanks to Vela's last ability to drain our opponents, we don't even care about the infinite mana produced by these 2. It's nice, but it's all about those sweet, sweet leaving the battlefield triggers that help put Vela at number 4. Number 3. We haven't really gone full tribal yet in this list, have we? Let's change that with this criminally underrated tribe, fairies. And who else could lead such a tribe but their queen? Oona, Queen of the Fae. Oona is a 5/5 legendary creature fairy wizard with flying. She costs 3 generic and 3 blue or black hybrid mana. Her ability reads, for X and 1 blue or black, choose a color. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library. For each card of the chosen color exiled this way, create a 1/1 blue and black fairy rogue creature with flying. Ooh, I do love a commander that can make a board state. Even if we find ourselves in that dreadful state of mana flooding, we can just sink all of that extra mana into exiling our opponent's deck and gaining valuable board presence. The rest of the deck can then be made up of great value fairy support. Scion of Oona, Fairy Harbinger, Glenelendra Liege, and Spellstutter Sprite. I could go on. I didn't realize how many great fairies there were, really. These great synergies combined with the usual tribal support, such as Kindred Discovery, Herald's Horn, or Vanquisher's Banner, can really help push this tribe over the top of many others. Literally. But wait, there's more. Because lurking just beneath this criminally playful facade of innocent fairy tribal is secretly lurking one of the strongest mill decks in EDH. Oona's ability alone lends herself to decking our opponents out. All you need is infinite colorless mana and a single black or blue. And we're in Commander, that's not too hard to pull off with cards like Basalt Monolith and Rings of Brighthearth. There are a number of ways of doing this. But even without those, cards like Psychic Corrosion to work off our draw engine, Fraying Sanity to punish graveyard decks, sorry Grimgrin, or we could just play cards like Psychic Spiral or Traumatize. For you know, those times when you just really want to drop the pretense and just go all in. And that's why Oona grabs the number 3 spot, versatility. We can go in super strong with fairies and great synergies and have a good old fun time. Or we could exile our opponent's entire library, you know, for giggles. Exactly what I look for in making these lists. Versatility. Number 2. Well, it just wouldn't be a top 5 Dimir list without more mentions of pure zombie tribal. So, kicking it at number 2 is the Scarab God. For 3 generic mana, 1 blue and 1 black, the Scarab God is a legendary 5/5 creature god with, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life and you scry X cards, where X is the number of zombies you control. And, because that's just not good enough for number 2 really, for 1 blue and 1 black and 2 generic mana, exile target creature card from a graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. And, because there are a few centimeters of room left at the bottom of this card during design, when the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. This powerhouse of a card gets all the way to number 2 for a few reasons for me. No, he doesn't combo in any way that I'm aware of, but it has just so much going for it. Let's go top down. So we've got a nice 5 mana 5/5. So far we have the God of the Vanilla test, but then he's got one of the most brutal and value-drenched drain effects on the market. All this guy needs to do is hit a strong zombie tribal deck and then boom. You get value and even a win condition from your commander just by playing your deck. Not to mention the ability to fix the top cards of your library. But then we get to the really heavy hitting part of this Amonketian horror. Being able to exile your opponent's reanimation target at instant speed, that's pretty good. being able to create token copies of them for yourself with their own sweet enter the battlefield triggers at instant speed is really good. But the fact that they are zombies that also synergize with the Scarab God's first ability? You don't even need the other 99 cards of the deck. Just play the Scarab God, ramp, and a bunch of mill for your opponents, and steal all of their win conditions, and then slowly drain them over time. Oh sweet Urza, I love this card. But Alex, it dies to removal. But does it though? Yes, it does. But then it comes back to your hand, and you can then recast the Scarab God for its original mana cost, thus essentially forever negating command attacks. So, barring someone exiling your commander with Swords to Plowshares or Oblivion Ring-like effects, then congratulations, you get to ignore one of the fundamental rules of EDH. Have I mentioned that I really love this card? Number 1. I agonized a bit over whether to give the top spot to this card or to the Scarab God, but truthfully you can go on right ahead and call me Billy Blue biased on this, because being able to give instant speed protection and versatility for days that doesn't constrain itself to tribal themes definitely gets my eyebrows raised significantly higher. It's Lazav. No, not you, your new, hotter self. Lazav the Multifarious. It's such a good name. Is a 1/3 legendary creature shapeshifter for just 1 blue and 1 black. He reads, when Lazav the Multifarious enters the battlefield, surveil 1. And, for X, Lazav the Multifarious becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with converted mana cost X. Except its name is Lazav the Multifarious, it's legendary in addition to its other types, and it has this ability. Now, everyone should know by now I don't ask for a lot, just a cheap mana cost, relevant colours to the format, and versatility for days. Tick, 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 we have our winner. One of the things that Lazav has going for him is that he can break out of the mold of some of the other commanders on this list. He doesn't have to be fairies, he doesn't have to be zombies. Neither do the others, strictly speaking, but they go with those cards a little too well not to be with their respective tribes. But Lazav is a trailblazing maverick. Lazav is his own card. Beyond using self-mill effects with cards like Entomb, Buried Alive, or Windfall effects to fill your graveyard with the creatures you need to copy, that's it, you're off. Lazav can be taken in so many different directions. Lazav can be combo. Being able to grab any of your combo pieces from your graveyard at any time you want with this ability gives so much more versatility than having to play them at sorcery speed. Or you could go straight to Dimir value with him, running cards like Consuming Aberration, Phyrexian Obliterator, or Phage the Untouchable. Or heck, you could even go commander damage route with cards like Phyrexian Dreadnought if you don't mind dropping a pretty penny. The best part is the copied cards stay in your graveyard. So as long as you've got one card in your graveyard with hexproof, let's say the Invisible Stalker, then we get a commander that in essence has 2 generic mana, this card gains hexproof, which is always a very good trick to have. Your opponents can see this and will be wary about trying to waste their kill spells. The same naturally goes for Indestructible, Death Touch, or Unblockable. This card has versatility like no other. Being able to grant himself protection and multiple routes to victory are the reasons why Lazav the Multifarious is our top pick for best Dimir commander. But now I want to know what you guys think. What's your favourite Dimir commander? Are there any broken synergies that I've missed out? If so, let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more Commander content. You can also follow us on Twitter @4Commander. And if you really like us, you could consider supporting us on Patreon. And on that note, a super special shout out to our fantastic patrons. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.